Hi guys, and welcome to my diary. Well, let's get straight into it. I think you've waited more than long enough. So it has been one wild ride, a real roller coaster. You know, you have your highs and your lows, and unfortunately there definitely are lows, but I mean that is life in general anyways. They're going to be lows. As long as you know you really enjoy those highs and you get through those lows as quickly as you possibly can, you'll be fine. I've always thought of myself as someone that's like quite thick-skinned, and I can get through stuff. And I've got such a nice support system that at the end of the day I can come back to that. So I'm really happy with that. Okay, completely off the topic, but I've noticed how I have these little sayings that I say all the time, and it irritates me. I'm going, Tegan, do you not have a big enough vocabulary to think of something else to say? Do you always have to say, to be completely honest? I mean, I say that all the flipping time, and I've started to pick up on it. So I'm going to try and say those type of things less, but I know for a fact that I'm going to use them quite often. But yeah, back to The Bachelor. It was a great ride. I have definitely struggled in places, but you know, you live and you learn and you grow, and I feel like I have grown, and that's the most important thing. I guess a good place to start would be with the first date, and that went to Pasha. Well, it didn't actually go to Pasha, she stole it with her white rose. That's what the white rose was all about, is she could steal a date. And she stole the first one-on-one. But you know what, a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. I would have done the same thing had it been a date that I wanted to be on. And this date sounded awesome. They went 4x4ing, not really my thing. And I would have wanted to drive. I don't want to be a passenger in a 4x4. That just, that doesn't interest me. But then they went hiking, and then they had this beautiful sort of, they watched the sunset, and then they had this beautiful picnic where they had a screen of old photos playing of each of them. And I thought that was so cute. I would have loved something like that. That was totally sort of in my element. As for, you know, there was the whole thing was, is she going to kiss him? Isn't she going to kiss him? There was no first kiss. Had it been me, I don't know, I would have had to just see how the evening went, and you know, it is cool to get the first kiss, so maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have, but I definitely don't think I would have told the girls about it. It's kind of funny though how the jealousy sort of starts straight away. As soon as someone's going on a date and there's a lot of speculation and stuff going around. But I must be honest, I don't know if I would have wanted the first date. I think there was so much pressure on the first date. So I'm not sure that would have been my thing, but you know, at least then I would have got a date. So maybe I should have wanted that first date. So whilst we were waiting for Pasha to come home, another date card arrived, and there were 4 girls on this date card. So 5 girls end up going on a date before the rose ceremony. I mean, how are you gonna get to know girls if you only get to know 5 out of 20 before a rose ceremony? I thought, you know, like that was a little bit ridiculous, but you know, it is what it is. So anyways, so these 4 girls go on this date, and they had to build dog houses. Now, DIY is not really my thing, I must be honest, although dogs are. But it reminded me of a really funny story from our past, and it was about building windmills. Now, if you're a Bachelor fan, you'll know the whole thing about windmills. If you're not, you won't get the reference. But when I was in grade 3, we had to build a windmill. And now, that's really not my type of thing. So I asked my dad, please help me build this windmill. So of course, the brilliant dad my dad is, he builds this windmill for me. And yeah, it needs some work, but you know, at least it's done. So I take it in and I give it in to my teacher and things, and I get full marks. The only person in the class to get full marks for their windmill. And my teacher goes, you know, Tegan, you know why you're getting full marks for this? Because I can see you did it yourself. And I'm like, oh, thank you, teacher, I'm so glad. Yes, I totally did it by myself. And meanwhile, my dad's done the thing. And when I go home and tell him this story, it was hilarious, and he still hasn't lived it down. You know, the windmill that I grade 3 built. So one thing I've loved watching the show back is everyone's running commentary. It is hilarious. Watching my dad and the things he says, and you know, it's like, because you know, he's living it there with me, which is really cool. And unfortunately my brother's not here at the moment, but he is there. He's messaging me every 5 seconds. Oh, this is happening. How could they do this? How could you do that? And then my brother even, you know, he even knows I'm going home, but he says, he's sitting there, he's on his edge of his seat, he's like, he's gonna give you a rose. no ways you're not gonna get a rose. And he's like, even though I know you're not getting a rose. And it's like a lot of fun. And then people are trying to call me during the show, and you know, everyone's getting so excited. And so I've loved that, sort of everybody being a part of it with me. Because at the end of the day, it's not just my journey. You know, everyone that's a part of my life is a part of the show and a part of the journey. And it's fun to experience with everyone. I suppose I can't really avoid the whole room situation, can I? Because that was really brought up. The whole, especially the whole purple room, and then there was the pink room, which I was in, and the red room. Yeah, I can't believe I'm talking about rooms versus rooms at the age of 31 years old, but that is what's going to happen when you put a group of very, very strong personalities together in a house on top of each other. You don't know each other. Now you're trying to get to know each other. You got to know each other's quirks, and obviously you're going to bond the most with the girls that you're in a room with. Yeah, I mean, that's the girls you spend the most time with. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it's all gonna play out. I try to avoid it, so maybe it was good I went home when I did. That way I didn't have to get too involved. But yeah, let's hope they all sort it out. I would like them to get along, although it makes great TV to watch a bunch of girls all fight. But we shall see, and I'll be watching and enjoying just as much as you guys. So that pretty much just left the cocktail party for me to speak to Mark, and cocktail parties are so intense. Everyone wants 5 minutes with Mark. So well, they're not my favorite thing. Conversation feels very stressed and very strained, and you're just trying to spit things out. So they're not really my favorite. So I spoke to him a little bit. Nothing intense, nothing crazy. But I at least got my 5 minutes, and I didn't feel like it went all that bad. I kind of thought, oh, you know, at least conversation flowed, and at least I got to see him and remind him who I was. So after our conversation, I kind of thought, yeah, okay, cool. You know, I'll stick around for another week and hopefully get a date and hopefully get to know him a little bit better. But unfortunately, that's not how things happened. Then it was rose ceremony, and I'm standing there in the rose ceremony. I'm still feeling pretty confident. I must be completely honest, and I'm saying completely honest again. But I was confident. I really thought I'd get a rose, and I was happy. So standing there, names get called, and I thought, okay, cool. Is he doing this again? Am I waiting till the end to be called? And it sort of comes down to it, and I'm like, maybe I'm not getting a rose, and that's like a sinking feeling. That's not a fun feeling at all, especially when I expected to get one. I really did think I was gonna get one. So I'm standing there, and my feet are sore, and I don't get called, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a bit rough. But you know, like, obviously I'm not gonna cry or anything like that. I'm like, what am I gonna cry over? But I was disappointed, so I said goodbye to the girls, and I said goodbye to Mark. You know, and I was like, okay, cool. This is it. This is the end of my journey. It was fun while it lasted, but yeah, cause kind of like, I really wanted to stay longer. I wanted to have a little bit more of the experience. I felt it was far too short. But another one of my favorite sayings, it is what it is, and that's what it was. It is what it is, and I'm still very happy I did it. And I'm happy as to how I was portrayed on TV. Yes, I did look a little introverted and things, but that's fine. I'm not loud, and I know I'm loud. Okay, yes, I know I'm loud, but I'm not that crazy. I don't try and talk over people, and I don't try and be in everyone's space. And so I was quite happy with how I was portrayed, and yeah, so now onwards and upwards. I just want to say I'm absolutely fine, guys. I really, really am. No skin off my nose. I got a little bit of flack for saying I'm not good enough. I guess you only really understand that term if you grew up in the sports world, and I hate always going back to the sports world, but that's where I come from, and that's why I am the way I am today. And that's just how I see things in life. You know, if you don't get what you want, you lost. If that makes sense. It's not that I don't see myself as good enough. I think I'm a half decent catch. So it's not that I didn't see myself as good enough, but it's just there was obviously no connection, but obviously I didn't do enough to stay. That's maybe a better way to put it. I didn't do enough to stay. Not that I'm not good enough. So I just wanted to clear the air there, and also just remind you guys that I'm hundreds, I'm all good to go. Yeah, it was a bit harsh being rejected, but and everyone also is like, that word rejected is so harsh, but it's true, and I can poke fun on myself, and I'm all good with it. But thank you so much for all the love and support, really. I think it broke a few people's hearts when I said that, especially the people that are close to me. They like reached out and they're like, Tegan, are you okay? I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine, I promise. I'll be okay. I'll pick myself up, don't worry. I'm used to this kind of thing. Like I've said, you know, when you, I'm gonna go back to the sport thing. When you play sports and do sports, you know, you get used to always picking yourself up because there can only be one winner. And that's the same thing in this type of show. There's only one winner. There's only one girl that he's going to pick in the end. So everyone's going to have to dust themselves off. I at least didn't have feelings. So, I mean, then it's not so bad. So I need your guys' opinion. I've had a lot of questions about the shoes and have I got the shoes back? No, I didn't get the shoes back. Do you think I should ask them back? You know when you break up, you get your stuff back, but you don't really get presents back. But we never went on a date, so should I get them back? Should I start a movement like hashtag give Tegan her shoes back or something? Because a lot of people are like, no, Tegan, you need to get your shoes back. So I was like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Talking opinions, let's talk fashion. Who did you guys like the most this week? I wore a short little black dress. I loved it. I got to wear heels this week. Yay! Because I love wearing heels. I'm actually such a heels girl. And that's what's so funny about the show is I show a different side of myself. And because I have lots of little, you know, like on the road, I'm known as the girly girl, the Barbie and stuff. But like in a house like that, in that sort of situation, I'm the tomboy. So that's why I describe myself as the girly tomboy. Because in like girly situations, I'm like the tomboy, but in sort of more sporty athletic events, I'm the girly girl. So it kind of, I don't know, I don't even really know how to describe it. But anyways, who did you guys like? My favorite for the night was Nolo. I loved that dress. Oh my goodness. Had I stayed, I think I probably would have stolen it. It was beautiful and it looked really good on her. So that was my favorite for the night, but what was your guys' favorite? I'm really glad you guys are enjoying my Instagram stories. I have so much fun posting there. It is funny, I only started late last year and I never thought I'd get into it, and I've totally gotten into it and I absolutely love it. One thing though, I just have to say, because I've got a lot of interest about this as well, my posts are not about The Bachelor. They really are not. I just like the idea of love and I love posting things. I am a huge Pinterest fan, and there's 3 things I do on Pinterest. One is I always get recipes. All my recipes are off Pinterest. I spend hours looking at recipes on Pinterest. Then I have a wedding board that I have been planning. My wedding is going to just be amazing. If it's anything like my Pinterest board, and keeping all these wedding ideas and everything for like years now, like 10 years. It's terrible. But I have been planning my wedding since I was about 8 years old. So anyways, and then the other one is I love all the beautiful quotes, whether they are funny, sad, love, and I just love to post them and anything that sort of speaks to me, and that's what my Instagram stories are all about. No, there's no love life or anything like that, but there's just such beautiful things, and that actually brings me to thinking, when I was on the show, they asked us what our love language was, and I had no clue what they were talking about. I was like, love language. I was like, oh, well, I love to travel, I love to eat, I love fitness, and they're like, no, your love language. So I actually had to go Google what love languages were, and then I did a sort of little quiz as to what my love language is, and it actually made complete sense. And my love language is affirmation. If anyone could just tell me they love me, or you know, just sort of always just like say, I like to be told stuff. And I guess that's why I like all these quotes. And so it makes complete sense. And I'm also just that person, you know, like if I achieve something, I like someone to like pat me on the back and say, well done. I know it sounds silly, but that's just how I am. So yeah, going back to Instagram stories, that's what all my Instagram stories are about. And if it can help anyone get through their day, you know, if they see a post and they're like, oh, that's actually kind of funny, or that's so cute, or that's exactly how I feel, then awesome stuff. And I have fun doing it, so I'm gonna keep going. I would say messy hair can only mean one thing, but my hair's always messy, so it doesn't only mean one thing, but it does today mean that I've just finished a race and just done some running. I thought I'd just quickly fill you in with a bit of running. So yeah, the running's going well. It's tough. I'm always exhausted, but that's what it is. We did the monster today, and the monster is exactly what you think it is. It's a monster. It's just hill after hill after hill, but it's my home ground. It's all around the area that I live in, and I mean, at certain stages, I'm like 200 or 300 meters away from home. So it's very hard not to just like, whoops, let's go home. Then this morning I was like, oh, please rain, please rain, please rain, so that I can just actually just go back to sleep and I don't have to go to the race. So it doesn't rain. Get to the race, it starts raining. I was like, really? really? So I got absolutely drenched. I've decided I'm no longer a princess on the road. You cannot call me a princess when I'm getting drenched and all this type of stuff. I managed to get through it. Yeah, so it was a good training run, really good training run. I felt good. I said I was gonna go out and take it easy because next weekend is a big one for me. And I got a decent time and it felt good. It felt easy. Like I didn't push it all. So I was pretty happy with that. Then next week we had our prize giving for our club for, you know, just sort of all the awards and all that type of thing. Sorry, you know, when I'm tired, like I can't think straight, and like when I get up early and I run really far, then my brain just switches off. But anyway, so we had our award ceremony, but I'll tell you guys all about that next week because this vlog is already super duper long, so I don't want to tell you about that now. I'll tell you about it next week. So for those of you that rely on me for your Bachelor recap, if you're overseas or you watch my vlogs and you just kind of want to know what's going on, every week I'll recap what happened during the week. I'm not going to do episode 3 today because like I said, this video has been way too long. So I'll recap 3 and 4 next week for you. Thanks so much for joining me guys, and I'll have all the juicy details for you next week.